Welcome to week 3 of distance learning. This week we have 2 math lessons. The first one is lesson 12 and the second one is lesson 13, and they are just connections from last week's lesson. So we're still learning about telling time to the half hour, and you are going to need your clocks that we made last week. So please, before you start this lesson, make sure you have your paper clock nearby to help you with this lesson. You'll need the clock that you made and a pencil and obviously your packet for this week. On my signal, you're going to say the entire equation with the answer. So it's going to sound like this. 6 plus 2 equals 8. And you'll wait for my signal before you say the equation. Think, think, think. Say the whole equation. Get ready. Yes, 16 plus 2 equals 18. Think, think, think. Say the whole equation. Get ready. Yes, 26 plus 2 equals 28. Say the whole equation. Think, think, think. Get ready. Yes, 36 plus 2 equals 38. We're changing the sign. No longer plus, now it's minus. Think big. You're going to have 9 and go backwards 3 times. Use your fingers, use your brain. Say the whole equation. Get ready. Yes, 9 minus 3 equals 6. Think big, think big. These are related facts. Say the whole equation. Get ready. Yes, 19 minus 3 equals 16. So if 9 minus 3 equals 6 and 19 minus 3 equals 16, think big for 29 minus 3. Say the whole equation. Get ready. Yes, 29 minus 3 equals 26. If 9 minus 3 equals 6, and 19 minus 3 equals 16, and 29 minus 3 equals 26, what's 39 minus 3? Think big, think big. Say the whole equation. Get ready. Yes, 39 minus 3 equals 36. Great work on those plus and minus problems. Now in your packet, find the page with your application problem. Touch the first word. Track along as I read. Shade the clock from the start of a new hour through half an hour. Explain why that is the same as 30 minutes. So you have 2 jobs. The first job, step 1, shade the clock from the start of an hour to half an hour. Step 2, explain for your statement why that is the same as 30 minutes. This is the start of an hour, and if we cut this circle in half, we want to shade in one side to show half an hour. I'm just going to shade it. Use your pencil to shade in that clock. Now, you can explain in your own words. I started the sentence for you. Explain why it's the same as 30 minutes. The sentence stem starts with, it is the same because. Pause the video, write your statement, and come back when you're done. You see a clock on your screen. Say the time that matches this clock. Look at the hour hand. What number is the hour hand pointing to? Get ready. 11. Look at the minute hand. When the minute hand points straight up, we say o'clock. So if it's 11 and o'clock, say the time that matches this clock. Get ready. Yes, 11 o'clock. Say the time that matches this clock. Look where the hour hand's pointing. Look where the minute hand is pointing. We have 6 and o'clock. Say the time that matches. Get ready. Yes, 6 o'clock. On your paper clock, show the time on the screen, then write the time the way it would appear on a digital clock. You can use the scratch paper in your packet to write the digital time. So right now on your paper clock, show me 7 o'clock and write it digitally on your scratch paper. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your clock should look like mine. The hour hand is pointing to the 7. The minute hand is pointing to the 12. And on your scratch paper, 7 o'clock on a digital clock looks like this. Thumbs up if you got it. Next time, show me 8 o'clock on your clock and write 8 o'clock digitally in your scratch paper. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your clock should look like mine. The hour hand is pointing to the 8. The minute hand is pointing to the 12. And if we write 8 o'clock like a digital clock, it should look like this. Thumbs up if you got it. Next time, 12 o'clock. Show me on your clock and write it digitally. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your clock should look like this. Now this one's tricky. Both hands are pointing up to the 12. It's kind of hard to see my hour hand, but I know it's there. If the hour hand and the minute hand are both pointing up to the 12, it's 12 o'clock. And if I write that like a digital clock, it should look like this. 12 o'clock. Last time. Show me 5 o'clock on your clock and write it digitally on your scratch paper. You have 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1. If you have 5 o'clock, the hour hand should be pointing to the 5. The minute hand should be pointing up at the 12 for 5 o'clock. And if you write that digitally, it should look like this. Thumbs up if you got it. All right, now we've mastered 5 o'clock, 12 o'clock, all the different o'clock times. Let's try to trick you guys. Don't let me trick you. Write the time on your scratch paper that shows this clock. So think big. The hour hand is pointing in between the 12 and the 1. It hasn't gotten to the 1 yet. It's pointing in between. And then the minute hand is straight down to the 6. So write the time that you see on this clock on your scratch paper. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you said 12:30 is the time that you see on this clock, say, oh yeah. The reason it's 12:30 is because the hour hand is still near the 12. It has not gotten to the 1 yet. The minute hand is pointing straight down at the 6, and when we count by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, we have 12:30. What's a way that I can say the name of this time that's different than 12:30? Yes, 12:30. The minute hand is 12:30. So that's the same as 12:30. Write the time that matches this clock. Think, think, think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you wrote down 1:30 because it's 1:30, say, oh yeah. What's another way I can say 1:30? Yes, 1:30 because the minute hand is halfway around the clock. The hour hand has not made it to 2 yet. It's still in the middle of 1 and 2. It's 1:30 or 1:30. Now, show the time on your clock and write the way it would be on a digital clock on your scratch paper. So now we have 8:30. Think of another way we can say 8:30. If I have 8:30, think about the way that it should look on the clock and write it like a digital clock. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, this is what your clock should look like. The hour hand is in between 8 and 9, and the minute hand is halfway around the clock, pointing down at the 6. This shows me 8:30 or 8:30. Thumbs up if you got it. Next time, 9 o'clock. You guys got this one. I'm only giving you 5 seconds to show on your clock and write it. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show me your clock. It should look like mine. The hour hand is pointing to the 9. The minute hand is pointing straight up to the 12. And to write it like a digital clock, you should have 9 and 2 zeros. Thumbs up if you got it. Next time we have 10:30. Now this sounds like numbers, but it's spelled out like words. Be super careful when you're reading these words. 10:30. Make it on your clock and write it like a digital clock. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is what your clock should look like. The hour hand is pointing in between the 10 and the 11, and the minute hand is halfway past the clock. So it's 10:30 or 10:30. And to write this like a digital clock, we have 10:30. Okay, 7 o'clock, another easy one. I'm only giving you 5 seconds. Make it on your clock and write it like a digital clock. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Show me your clocks. 7 o'clock. Where's the hour hand pointing? Get ready. Yes, 7. Where's the minute hand pointing? Get ready. Yes, 12. And when we write this like a digital clock, it should look like this. 7 and 2 zeros for o'clock. Now, I'm totally going to trick you. I'm going to cover the minute hand, and you have to tell me what the time is based on the hour hand. Okay, so look at the hour hand. If the hour hand is pointing directly at the number, then we know it's that time o'clock. If the hour hand is not pointing directly at the number and it's in between two numbers, we know that it's that time 30. If it's pointing directly at the number, we know it's that time o'clock. So let's look at the first one. We see the hour hand is pointing straight to the 2. If the hour hand is pointing straight to the 2, what time is on this clock? Show it on your clock and write the time on your scratch paper. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So your clock should look like the one on my screen. The hour hand is pointing to the 2. The minute hand should be pointing straight up at the 12. So the time on this clock is 2 o'clock. If you got all of that right, give yourself a pat on the back. Great job, great job. Next clock. This hour hand is not pointing straight at the 2. If it's not pointing straight at the 2 and if it's between two numbers, we know that it's that time 30. So make it on your clock, write the time on your scratch paper. You have 10 seconds. Go. Three, 2, 1. Your clock should look like mine. The minute hand is pointing straight down to the 6. So I know the time that this clock shows is 2:30. Let's do another one. This hour hand is pointing straight to the 4. So we know it's that time o'clock. Make it on your clock and write it on your scratch paper. You have 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Your clock should look something like mine. The hour hand is pointing to the 4. The minute hand is pointing straight up to the 12. So I know this time is 4 o'clock. Thumbs up if you got it. Now this one is a little tricky. The hour hand is not pointing straight to the 9, and it's not pointing straight to the 10. It's in between the 9 and the 10. If it's in between two numbers, we know it's that time 30. So make it on your clock and write it on your scratch paper. You have 10 seconds. Go. Three, 2, 1. Your clock should look something like mine. So I know that it's 9 because it hasn't made it all the way to the 10 yet. And if it's pointing straight down to the 6, we know it's 30 minutes or 9:30. Now listen to my story and see if you can determine the time. Kim's dance class starts at 3 o'clock. The class lasts half an hour. What does the clock look like when the class ends? Show the time by using your paper clock and writing on your scratch paper. If it starts at 3 o'clock and it's half an hour long, I know her class does not end until 3:30 or 3:30. make sure your clock looks like mine, and if you write it on your scratch paper, like a digital clock, it should show 3:30. If you have not done that on your clock or scratch paper, you can pause the video and come back when you're done. On to your problem set for today. You have your problem set and your homework. Number 1 and 2, fill in the blanks. There is one clock that shows the time that is written for you. Find the clock that shows the time and fill in the blank with the letter for that clock. 3, 4, and 5, you're doing the same thing. They give you a time. Write the letter of the clock that matches that time. Number 6, you're matching the clocks to the ones in the middle, the digital clocks, and the circular analog clocks. So all of the clocks should match to one in the middle and a digital clock on this side. There will be a match for all 3. Number 7, you're drawing the minute and hour hands on the clocks. Draw the minute hands and the hour hands on the clocks. Alright guys, that's all for lesson 12. Go finish your problem set, finish your homework, and I'll see you in office hours. Bye!